evening and welcome into your performance management course. My name is Matlub Ilahi, your performance management course lecturer. First of all, let me introduce myself. I have been teaching this paper for now almost more than 16 years, performance management. These three papers, my core areas of teaching are performance management, advanced performance management, and strategic business leader. These are the three papers that I teach, and I have been teaching so many years. If I tell you that these papers are these courses flow in my blood, and I'm in love with these papers. You will feel all this passion, even from today's class. How much I am passionate, how much I love, and I'm excited to teach these papers. You will feel this. I also have been teaching in Mauritius as well. You might have heard from your friends, your colleagues, and that's a little bit my introduction. Now I would request you to introduce yourself, especially is it your first attempt of performance management, and what do you expect from this course? So I can request Nishika. Hi, Nishika. Good evening.
Good evening. My name is Nishika Chatkan, and it is my first attempt for performance management. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So what are you from this course? Your voice is breaking, Nishika. No?
Sorry, maybe the connection is really bad at my place.
No problem, no problem.
I expect. Can you hear me?
Okay, all right, no problem, no issue. Thank you, Nishika. I would request Mitusha. Hi, Mitusha. Good evening.
Good evening, sir. This is my first attempt at performance management, and I'm currently working at Deloitte, Mauritius, and I expect to receive a really strong understanding of performance management in this course.
Perfect, perfect. Thank you very much, Mitusha. Next, I would request Himita. Hi, Himita. Good evening.
Hello, sir. Good evening.
Good evening.
I am Hemita, and this is my first attempt. I am currently working at a management company as management accountant. So I really look forward to these courses and have my exam in June.
Perfect. All right. And what type of stories you have heard about this paper, this course? Performance management.
It is really about management, like not the financial, like reporting figures, but how to manage, to have a better understanding of managing.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Amita. Thanks. Next, I would request Jasvi. Hi, Jasvi. Good evening.
Hello, sir. I'm from Mauritius. I'm actually working in a local bank here. So I have been recommended by my wife, who is your ex-student in Mauritius, to follow your classes here. So I'm looking forward for your valuable advice and teaching experience. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much, and must be thankful to your wife as well.
Pleasure, sir.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, and I look forward to offer you the best in class teaching. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
And next, I would request Ramjatan. Hi, Ramjatan. Good evening.
Hello, good evening. I am Hishka, and this is my first attempt. I work at Deloitte Mauritius.
Okay, and what you are expecting from this paper, and what type of stories you have heard about performance management? Can you hear me? It's okay, no problem. And then I would request Keshini. Hi, Keshini, good evening.
Hello, sir. Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, so I'm from Mauritius and I'm currently working a full-time job at an audit firm, Capitalists. And this is my first paper in level 2.
Okay, all right. So what type of stories you have heard about this paper?
Well, my friends who have already attempted this paper, they told me it's an advanced level of management accounting level 1, and it's a big job. So, yes.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much, everyone, for your amazing introduction. And now we are going to start with a little bit discussion about performance management overall subject. Although this paper is not of very higher level as comparison to, we talk about advanced performance management, that is level 3 paper at strategic professional level that hopefully you will be going for. That's optional paper, APM. But this paper is more calculation based, more explanation based, because this is level 2 applied skill level. Okay. At this level, you can expect a lot of calculations, explanation, commentary, etc., etc. But before we go into details, a quick, comprehensive discussion of performance management. So you can have a background of this paper. What is performance management? When we talk about performance management, there are two broad areas of performance management. One is financial performance management, and the other side is non-financial performance management. When we talk about financial performance management, this is about managing the organization revenues, managing the organization operations, managing the organization processes, managing the organization structure, portfolio, products, markets, managing the organization sales revenue, marketing department, production, manufacturing, technology, finance, supply chain, procurement, audit, and you can talk about payroll, all these different departments and managing all that. Okay. Performance management is also about cost management, very important component of any organization. Cost management. What is cost management? At your earlier paper, level 1 paper, you might have studied management accounting, where you got opportunity to learn about how to calculate different types of cost, like absorption costing and marginal costing. And do you know why organizations or business organizations need to calculate these type of cost? You also have studied about variance analysis. What is variance? In variance, we compare the standard cost and actual cost. And do you know why we compare? We compare for controls. What that mean? For example, if the material cost of this pen was estimated at $1, but the actual material cost of this pen has been $1.5 or $2, there is almost 100% increase in the cost. And this is of very high concern for the management. They need to investigate that what was the reason behind this increase in 100% material cost, because if this company makes 1 million pens per month and $1 increase in the cost of each pen, mean $1 million increase in the material cost. Understand? So do you think the business need to control its cost or not? Yes, it needs to control its cost. And this is just one example. There are a lot of different types of cost incurred by business organizations. You can start listing it down: material cost, labor cost, and then there are overheads. Overheads, for example, there are energy cost, there are supply cost, there are like infrastructure cost, depreciation cost. There are so many different types of costs that are incurred by organizations. So in order to make sure that a business is profitable, all those costs need to be managed and controlled. So this paper, this subject is very interesting, performance management, because basically you will be managing performance of the organization, not only financial performance. We can also talk about non-financial performance as well. What is non-financial performance? Let me give you a quick brief introduction. You can think of customer satisfaction. Customer satisfaction is a non-financial measure of performance. If customers are happy, if customers are satisfied with the products of the organization, they will become repeat customers. And if they will become repeat customers, they will be purchasing your business products again and again. They will also refer your products to their colleagues, their friends, their relatives, their family members. And in this way, your brand reputation will maximize, will increase, will enhance. So imagine how important it is to satisfy a customer. Similarly, there are a lot of other areas of non-financial performance as well. For example, staff motivation, staff satisfaction. Imagine if your staff is not motivated, if your staff is not happy, what would happen? If your staff is not happy, if your workers are not happy, they would not be putting their best. And when they will not put their best, there will be quality problems. If they would not serve your customers very well, your customers will not be happy. So connect the dots. If your staff morale is down, if your staff is not motivated, this would affect your entire business. Okay. And this is the second thing I have told you of non-financial performance measures. There are other non-financial performance measures as well. For example, like we can talk about nature. We can talk about sustainability. Imagine if an organization is emphasizing too much only on maximizing their profitability, and they are not taking care of the other factors such as environment. So what would be the outcome? The outcome would be that the products, operations, processes will lead to more pollution. There will be more pollution. There will be more wastage. There will be more chemicals. There will be more water. And there will be more use of the light pollution. This will lead to more footprints. We use word footprints. Yes, this term you will also learn in environmental management accounting. So if a business is successfully maximizing financial performance, but failing on sustainability. This will lead to a lot of problems for the organization. For example, when customers will know that this business is very profit oriented and this business is not responsibly treating its waste, this business is not responsibly treating its employees, this business is not responsibly treating its products, its processes, this will lead to that customers would start boycotting the business. Customers would stop purchasing the products, and this would lead to other issues for the organization as well. When a business will get bad reputation on sustainability and ESG issues, this will lead to like investors would start abandoning the stock of the business. Shareholders will start selling and they would not invest into the shares and stock of the business. Suppliers would start stopping or they would stop selling. Customers would stop purchasing. And in this way, a lot of other problems will start happening. So the point is that in order to make sure that a business need to make sure that they need to keep a balance between their financial performance and non-financial performance. Okay, so I hope that you have got a simple but very important understanding about the latest issues or the latest problems facing performance management. Okay, keep balance. Basically, this is a performance management paper. If it was APM, I could have explained it to more and more details, but because a lot of things are not relevant to this, but I have a lot of articles that I share with my APM students. So if you like to read these latest developments, I would happily share with you as well. Okay, keep balance between financial and non-financial factors. Like on the one side, there is profit. On the other side, there is nature and social, human. Okay, all right, so I hope you got this quick understanding of the issues which modern day organizations are facing. And there are a lot of other issues as well. For example, technology issues, like data issues. Increasingly, organizations are using new technology developments on the one side, but on the other side, they are facing the challenges of cybersecurity. They are facing the challenges of the data protection and a lot of other issues. Okay, I hope this would be of interesting to you. Now let's talk about the performance management syllabus. So here is section A. Section A name is Management, Information Systems, and Data Analytics. So in this chapter or in this section, you will be learning about the different types of management information systems. You will be learning about importance of the data, importance of the information for performance management. One example, for example, when we purchase online or when we do online booking, when we buy something online, okay, how the different data is gathered, how the different data is created when we purchase something online using e-commerce websites or using different apps. Okay, a lot of data is created. So how business organizations use that data to develop further, for example, develop new products, develop new services, or sell us more using that data for better marketing, for better customer service. Okay, so you will be learning all this here in this chapter. That is section A. Section B is about specialist cost and management accounting techniques. So let's have a look what you will be learning about section B, specialist cost and management accounting techniques. Here you will be learning about activity-based costing, target costing, life cycle costing, throughput accounting, and accounting for environmental and sustainability factors. Yes, my dear, this is something interesting and new for you. Sustainability, environmental factors, now part of accounting and finance education. Okay, part of finance and accounting education now. Okay, so what is activity-based costing? In your management accounting classes, you have studied about different costing systems like absorption costing and marginal costing. But do you know that absorption costing has its own problems? I will explain it later today. So activity-based costing is something one step further of traditional absorption costing. So under activity-based costing, we look at the overheads cost in a different way. This is called activity-based costing. Under target costing, we look at the product cost differently. Okay, instead of looking in a traditional way to calculate a cost, we use an opposite approach. We use a reverse approach for calculation of cost. That is called target cost. Life cycle costing is a different, interesting way of calculating cost. Instead of calculating annual cost or period cost or periodic cost, we look at the cost of a product from the whole life cycle. For example, like think of mobile phone. Okay, what is the cost of mobile phone? If we look at its components cost, its cost would be different. But if we look at the life cycle approach of a mobile phone or any electronics cost, we will realize that there are many costs incurred by companies after the end of the life cycle of a product. For example, recycling, for example, dismantling, for example, decommissioning. So there are various types of costs which are incurred at the end of life of a product or a project. So according to this method, all those costs need to be considered in the costing. So you will learn here this life cycle costing. Throughput accounting is another different way of looking at the cost. Okay, this is from you can say bottleneck approach. Bottleneck approach means that when a business is facing scarcity of resources, then how to calculate cost in that situation. This is called throughput accounting. And then there is environmental and sustainability accounting. Under this method, you will be learning about how to consider environmental and sustainability factors into the cost calculation. Very interesting, where you will have the opportunity to learn different methods of costing. Next is section C, one of the lengthiest, longest section of the performance management syllabus is section C, decision making techniques. So here you will learn about how to make decisions, how to make decisions under different situations. Here are the topics. For example, relevant cost analysis. Here you will learn about how to calculate relevant cost of a product. Yes, there are certain costs which are relevant and there are certain costs which are not relevant. So under this topic, you will learn how to calculate what is relevant cost. Number two, cost volume profit analysis. Here you will learn how to calculate break-even point of a business. What is break-even? Break-even is a point where total revenue equals total cost. So when total revenue equal total cost, there is no profit, no loss situation. No profit, no loss. This is called break-even point. And by the way, in this chapter, you will also learn that when there is change in the cost and volume of activity, how much will be change in the profit of the organization. That's why it is called CVP analysis. That when there is a change in cost and volume of activity, how much would be impact on the profitability of the organization? Okay, you will learn here this way. Next, number three is limiting factors. Limiting factors, also called limiting resources. What normally limiting resources we deal here? We deal with normally, for example, if there is a limited quantity of material available, if there is a limited quantity of labor available, or if there is a limited quantity of machine hours capacity available. So if these resources are limited, then how to make decisions? How to make decisions under such constraints? Situation mean constraints. Constraints word is used, that is a limiting factor. So if there's a limiting factor, then how to make decision. Very interesting topic you will learn here. Next is about pricing decisions. Under this chapter, you will be learning about how to set a price, what factors we need to consider when setting price of a product. And you will also learn the different pricing strategies that business use normally. Okay, these are related to pricing decisions. Next topic is about make or buy and other short-term decisions. So under this chapter number 5, you will learn about how to make a decision whether to make this pen or the ink used inside this pen, whether we should make that ink in-house or if an outside supplier offers us to sell ink cheaper, so should we buy that ink from outsider? So these type of decisions, make or buy decision. Similarly, if we are making 5 different types of this pen, so 3 of those are profitable and 2 are not profitable. So how we should decide whether we should discontinue 2 varieties of this pen and continue with 3 varieties of this pen? How to make decision. You will learn here all this. And number 6 is about dealing with risk and uncertainty. Very interesting that how to make decisions under risk and uncertainty situation. My dear, risk. Risk is like in every decision involve risk. For example, like if I'm going to launch a new product, a new electronics, a new refrigerator, a new LED, a new like home theater, a new furniture, for example. So I need to test its market. I need to find out whether there are customers for this product or not. And if I'm going to make this product, what quantity of this product should I make? Should I produce this product in 100 units, 1000 units, or 10,000 units? So all this is a risky decision. So how should I choose? Should I make 100 units? Should I make 1000 units? Or should I make 10,000 units? So this is about decisions. Decisions are choices. And you know, every decision has risk. Some risks are, you can say, avoidable, and some risks are unavoidable. So what we can do, we need to make a decision that can mitigate or minimize the risk. Okay, very interesting. Section D of the syllabus is about budgeting and control. So what you will be learning here under budgeting and control. First of all, budgetary systems and types of budgets. So here you will be learning about different types of budgets. For example, zero-based budget, incremental budget, rolling budget, activity-based budget. So these are the different types of budgets that you will be learning about. Okay, you will need to learn the advantage and disadvantage of different types of budgets. And in performance management paper, you can expect that the question may ask you to explain advantage and disadvantages of a particular budgeting approach. Number two, analytical techniques in budgeting and forecasting. This is a bit challenging area in this section D. Okay, like analytical techniques. So here you will be learning about different forecasting methods, forecasting and estimation methods. For example, you will be learning about learning curve. This is a bit tricky area, learning curve. You will be learning about the linear regression. You will learn about time series analysis, and also you will learn about high-low method and flexible budgeting. Okay, so all these topics are part of this analytical techniques in budgeting and forecasting. Of course, when we forecast or budget, when we budget an activity, we need forecasting. For example, if we are planning to make 100,000 these pens, 100,000, we need forecasting, okay? Because budgets are based on forecast. So more accurate forecast mean accurate budgeting and vice versa, okay? Next topic is about standard costing. So here you will be learning about the basics of standards and variances. Basics. Next topic is about material mix and yield variance. These are advanced variances that you will need to learn about mix and yield. Mix and yield are used where we are using multiple materials in making of a product. For example, there are lots of products that use multiple materials. I can give you a few examples. Have you ever imagined the juices or chocolates or candies, okay, or other confectionaries or sweets which are made, multiple ingredients are used, okay? Similarly, in lot of other products such as chemicals, paint, and similar products, multiple materials are used. So where there are multiple materials are used in making a product, we need to calculate material mix variances. Next, sale mix and quantity variance. Sale mix variance we need to calculate where we are selling more than one product. Okay. If we are selling a single product, then our sale variance is simple. But when we are selling 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 products, we need to measure performance of different products using the sale mix and quantity variances. Another advanced variance is called planning and operational variances. Very interesting. Do you know that when we measure variance, why we measure a variance? One of the reasons behind measuring a variance is to introduce controls. For example, if a variance is favorable, that is a good thing because our profit will increase. Why? A favorable variance means that actual cost of the variance is lower than standard cost of the product. Okay, so if actual cost of a product is less than standard cost of a product, this will lead to higher profitability. But on the other side, if actual cost of a product is higher than its standard cost, standard means our estimated cost, this is not good. This is adverse variance. And adverse variance leads to reduced profitability. So do you think being a manager, should we investigate an adverse variance or not? Yes, we do need to investigate an adverse variance. We need to find out the root cause. We need to find out the reasons that why this variance became adverse. So doing so, we can bring control actions so that it should not happen in the future. So in this overall effort, in this overall activity, we need to calculate planning and operational variances because planning and operational variances can help us which part of the variance is controllable and which part of the variance is not controllable. Because yes, my dear, the whole variance, when we look at the whole variance, the situation may not be clear. So in order to have the more clarity, in order to have better understanding and clarity about our variance, we need to split it into controllable and uncontrollable factors. Okay, because if we look at the overall variance, that may not be helpful. Looking at an overall variance may not be helpful. We need further detail. Very interesting, and you will enjoy this topic about planning and control operational variances. Okay, and the last topic is about performance analysis. So you will be learning other aspects to consider when calculating standard costing. For example, just in time, or the TQM philosophy and all that you will be learning about. Okay, section E is about performance measurement and control. Very interesting. The name of the paper, the name of the subject is performance management, and here is performance measurement. So you need to make sure you are very clear about these two things, performance management and performance measurement. Let me make it simple for you. Performance measurement is part of management. So performance management is a broad area, and performance measurement is just a component of performance management. Okay, because performance management is about managing everything about the organization, and measurement is about measuring performance. Okay, so what are the key points or learning in this area? You will be learning about how to measure performance in private sector and not-for-profit sector and government sector. So you will learn about the different type of KPIs, different types of models and KPIs, key performance indicators. KPIs stand for key performance indicators, models and KPIs for performance measurement for private sector, for public sector, for not-for-profit sector. You will learn here. Number 2 is about divisional performance and transfer pricing. So here you will learn about how to measure performance for a large group of companies. For example, in Mauritius, in Mauritius, there are many different groups of companies. For example, GML, IBL, or other groups like Omnicane, for example, or Terra Group, or Medin. So ENL, all these are the different groups of companies. When there are group of companies, they have different divisions or different segments or different businesses. So they need to measure and compare performance of each other. So here you will learn about how divisional performance is measured with the help of the different KPIs and different measures. And the last topic is specific performance analysis issues in not-for-profit organizations and public sector. For example, like politics, for example, resources and other issues you will learn here. Okay, so this is a quick, comprehensive introduction of performance management syllabus. I hope that you are clear. Section F is about employability and technology skill. Let me make it simple for you because you will be having your exam in computer, like that is a computer-based exam. So you should know how to use technology, how to use hardware, how to use software, how to make calculations using spreadsheets, how to write, type, how to use the softwares to make your analysis. So all this is part of your employability and technology skills. Okay. All right. So this is a quick discussion of the syllabus. I would like to know if you have any question. Is there any question so far? Do you have any question, my dear? I guess no question. Hello. Okay, thank you, Jasveer. Thanks a lot. Okay. Now let's talk about next about exam, performance management exam. So my dear, performance management exam will have 3 sections: Section A, Section B, and Section C. Section A will have 15 objective tests or OTQs. OTQs, objective test questions of 2 marks. So there will be total 30 marks. 15 questions, OTQs multiplied by 2. You can expect there are different ways of testing these OTQs. There will be like choices. There will be multiple choice questions. There will be blanks, fill in the blanks. There will be drag and drop. Drag and drop. There will be drop down menu. And there would be other different types like type as well. And there will be true, false. Okay, so the point is that gives you more interactive learning of and testing and evaluation of your knowledge. Okay, more interactive assessment of your knowledge with using different techniques. Okay, next in the section B of the performance management paper, there will be 3 case style questions. Case style means you will be given the scenario, a long scenario, 3 questions, long scenario, and under each case style question, there will be 5 further objective test questions under each of the question, having 2 marks. So let me make it simple for you. There will be 3 case style questions multiplied by each case style question will have 5 questions, OTQs, just like as section A questions, and each question will have 2 marks. So there will be total 30 marks for section B. 30 marks for section B with case style questions. And the nature of question, a testing style of the question will be same, like as I told you, you can expect multiple choices, you can expect blank and fill in the blank, you can expect drag and drop, drop down menu, true and false. These are the different way of testing the performance management knowledge. And here comes section C of the syllabus. Section C will have 2 constructed response question. Constructed response question mean more detailed scenario questions, and each question will have 20 marks. Okay, 20 marks. So 2 multiplied, there are no MCQs, there are no OTQs in section C, because here you have to perform calculations, you have to like type, you have to analyze, you have to explain, you have to write your commentary, you have to write your advantage and disadvantages of any question or technique. So this is why it is called constructed response question, because you have to construct your response answer. Okay, now let's talk about which sections of the syllabus are tested in section C of the paper. So please note it today that in section C, 2 questions. 1 question would be coming from section E of the syllabus. 1 question is tested from this area. This is section E of the syllabus. Okay, section E. 1 section C question of PM paper of 2020. marks. So one question will be tested from this section E. So from today, you should know that it is easy to attempt to this. The reason why it is easy, there are just 4 to 5 topics in these areas. 5 topics there are. So if one topic is balance scorecard, other topic is building block model, third topic is value for money criteria, topic number 4 is divisional performance like ROI and RI, and topic number 5 is transfer pricing. So there are 5 topics. So if you have like good practice, for example, if you do 2 practice questions of each topic, mean if you do 10 to 15 practice questions on this area, you can make sure that one of the questions of section E of the paper is confirmed, is done. Okay. So one question of section C would be tested from section E of one question of section C of the paper is tested from section E of the performance management syllabus. And now let's talk about the other question, the second question of section C. This can be tested either from budgeting and variance analysis or from decision making. Yes, it can be tested either from section C or section D. Are you understood? Are you clear? Jasveer, is it understood? Zainab, are you clear? Okay, so this is the exam pattern. I hope you are clear now. If there is a question, please feel free and ask me. All right, next now, let's talk about how to prepare for the performance management exam. Performance management exam requires a lot of practice. The reason because this has very extensive syllabus. Even just imagine section C, that is a decision making, as I told you earlier, is so long, lengthy area where you will be covering so many different types of topics. So the point is that performance management, you need to be on top of the game from the day one. You cannot wait for March or April or May to start your preparation because syllabus is very extensive, very comprehensive. You need to start it today itself. So what are the exam techniques that you need to follow? Read and interpret requirements very carefully. Failure to do this is often the cause of poor score. Question reading is a skill, keep in mind, okay? Question data reading is a skill that you need to learn. And how you can learn? How to learn? There is only one way. That is practice, practice, practice. Okay. Only with the practice, more practice, the more you will have the confidence. Number 2, ensure that you have read you have read all the requirements and noted the mark allocation for each requirement. This is especially important in CB as the requirements might be split over several screens. Next, each requirement should be properly broken down into number of things being asked to. For example, you are asked advantage and disadvantage. Okay, so you can divide it. For example, there are 3 marks for advantage and 3 marks for disadvantage. Okay, so you can divide it. Understand? And this one is especially in the section B and section C, where your questions are splitted over multiple screens. So you need to be careful. Number 4, it is easier to be more focused when answering a question using word processing and spreadsheets, as the mere fact that what has been written or calculated can be seen more clearly. Yes, it's the benefit of computer-based exams that when you are calculating something, it's more clear to you. You can change, you can delete, you can alter, but this is not possible with conventional paper-based exam. Next is also, if you realize that you have missed a point out from an earlier part of question, it is easier to go back and insert it in the correct place later. Later mean not after the end of the exam time, but later mean, for example, you have developed your answer, you have written your answer, but after 1 hour or 2 hours, you notice that no, you can need to improve it further, you can do it. And finally, please remember to use the spreadsheet functionality available. Totals should be calculated by inserting formula rather than typing in the number. And this is only possible to use formulas with practice. Okay, with practice, you can develop all this. And one more thing, that we will be doing all this practice in the practice platform and in the study hub. Do you know about the study hub resource? Do you know study hub resource? Hello. Do you know? Study hub resource is a very rich hub of resources where you can find all the chapters, notes, quizzes, and the most important thing, like that is practice questions. There is extensive practice questions are available, and we will be doing most of our practice from the study hub resources. Okay, so definitely, and all those questions are the latest one. All those questions are reflecting the actual exam scenario, actual exam questions. Okay, so that will be part of this this course, that you will have the opportunity to practice from the study hub and practice platform. Okay, here are important dates to know that we are starting today, and that last class will be on 3rd May 2025. Total classes are 20, 17 are in routine, and there will be minimum 3 extra classes, and the schedule, okay, extra classes schedule will be shared. I will share extra classes schedule later. Okay, and because these extra classes are aimed at practice. Okay, all right, so any questions so far? Any questions so far? My dear, my style of teaching is two-way. I believe in two-way of communication. Okay, I encourage my students to ask questions, more question, the more question you ask, the more discussion you are in, the more you learn. Okay, because this is the benefit of the live class. Otherwise, it should not be like recordings. Recording is just one way, and live class should be two-way. Live class, two-way communication. Okay, where students and lecturer should communicate with each other, discussion, because recording is just one way. Just one way. And literally, you should take advantage of this live class. And for this, you need to plan it. You need to plan ahead. You should know that you have a class today or tomorrow. So plan and prepare in advance if you want to take a real benefit from the live classes. Otherwise, of course, recordings will be available and you can watch these recordings anytime, but those recordings will not be same as a live class is. Okay, so I always encourage you, I always motivate you, I will always emphasize on this point that you should go for live class. So try not to be absent. Try to make sure you are present in every live class. Okay, that is from day one. I can guide you, I can advise you. That would be the best thing for you. Okay, all right, and let's have some refresh the basic concepts. Thank you very much. Thank you, Zainab. Thank you, Hamita. Thank you, Nishika. Thanks a lot. This is the benefit of live class, that you can respond, you can interact, I can ask you, and you can expect more interesting, because we are working on few more projects, how we can maximize the engagement, maximize the class learning. Okay, so you will all benefit from these our new plans. Okay, all right, so this is all about the quick overview of the performance management syllabus and performance management exam. Now, I want to have a quick refresh of your basic concepts of management accounting, especially absorption costing and marginal costing. The reason is because repeatedly you will be dealing with overheads. So I want to make sure that these concepts are very well clear. Okay. A quick recap of absorption and marginal costing. Absorption costing is a form of costing in which the cost of products are calculated by adding an amount of indirect cost like overheads to the direct cost of production. Yes. So under absorption costing, what we do, we calculate direct cost of a product, direct cost like direct material cost, direct labor cost, and any other direct expenses. And then we absorb overheads into the cost of a product. Do you know how those overheads are absorbed? This is a common learning in management accounting in your earlier studies, that how this overhead is absorbed. When we absorb overheads into the cost of a product, this method becomes absorption costing. But we need to know the method, the process, that how are these overheads calculated. Okay, let's discuss it. And by the way, in marginal costing, this absorb overheads is not done. Okay, in marginal costing, only variable cost is calculated, but under absorption costing, we absorb overheads using a rate. That rate is called overhead absorption rate. Okay, so let's have a quick understanding. How to calculate overhead absorption rate that is used to absorb overheads into the cost of our product. The overhead absorption rate or rates is determined in advance for the financial year when standard costing is used. Okay, it is calculated in one of the following ways. So this is the formula for calculating overhead absorption rate. You might be already familiar with this method of overhead calculation. Okay, so budgeted production overheads expenditure on the total budgeted overhead expenditure, total budgeted production overheads divided by total budgeted activity. So for example, if your total budgeted overheads are $50,000 and your budgeted activity such as budgeted labor hours are 20,000, so you will divide it by 50,000 divided by 20,000. So your OAR, overhead absorption rate is how much? 50,000 divided by 20,000 is equal to, it is $2.5 per labor hour. $2.5 per labor hour is your OAR or overhead absorption rate. Okay. Another way is budgeted production overhead expenditure divided by normal annual level of activity. Same thing. Okay. So this activity that we use in the base budgeted activity, it can be labor hours, it can be machine hours, it can be even labor cost. Yes, labor cost can be used as a base to absorb overheads, or even it can be prime cost, like anything, whatever, but if you will be guided, exam question will specify that. Okay, here is one example to apply your this basic knowledge. Here is example. Read it. You have, okay, let me read this one for you. Okay, or you can read it. It's a better. Try it. You have maximum time 5 minutes for reading and understanding. Quick, do it. This is just, you can apply your knowledge from previous management accounting. You can even by trying this example, you can also have idea about how are your overheads concepts. Okay, whether your overheads concepts are clear or there is some problem. Try it. Okay, let's complete its calculation. A manufacturing company makes two products, X and Y. Budget information about these products is as follows. This is a typical scenario, okay, in performance management questions. Product X, product Y, two products. Direct cost per unit is this one, $10 per unit is for X and $7 per unit for Y. This is direct cost. Direct cost means that this includes direct material plus direct labor plus if there's any other direct expense, this is included in it. Direct labor time to make each unit is 15 minutes and 20 minutes. This is the direct labor time to make each unit, and budgeted production for the year 8,000 and 9,000. So you are given other data. Other data is that direct labor time for each is 15 minutes and 20 minutes, and budgeted production for the year is 8,000 units and 9,000 units. The budgeted production overheads for the year are 120,000. This is the total budgeted production overheads are $120,000. The company uses an absorption costing. So you are clearly told that company uses absorption costing, and direct labor hour absorption rate is used. Means you are clearly told that company uses direct labor hour as a base to absorb overheads. What is required? Required is what is absorption rate for the overheads. This is requirement number one. And then what is the budgeted cost per unit of X and Y? This is requirement number two. Basically, this is part of your learning. This is part of your learning that how to read the question requirements. This happens a lot of times. Students don't read the question requirements clearly. So when imagine if someone does not read it clearly, does not understand it clearly, would not be able to answer fully and hence losing marks. So what I would suggest to you, you need to read the question requirements clearly. Okay, so first of all, absorption rate for the overheads. How to calculate absorption rate? Absorption rate or OAR formula. First of all, first formula. OAR is equal to total budgeted. I want you to become master in these calculations. Master. Okay. Total budgeted overheads divided by total budgeted activity. So total budgeted overheads are, how much are total budgeted overheads? This one, 120,000 given. $120,000. Keep in mind, sometimes this total figure is not given. Sometimes you are given product-wise overheads. So you need to make your calculations to convert those product-wise overheads into total overheads to calculate OAR. Remember, for OAR calculation, you need total overheads. Total overheads, 120,000 divided by total activity is now. What is total activity? That is labor hours. Direct labor hours. We need total direct labor hour. Now I have a question. Are total direct labor hours given? Is there total direct labor hour given? This is my question to you. Is there total direct labor hours given? No, not given. Total is not given. Total is not given. Okay, so what is given? What is given? We are given product wise, we are given labor time per unit is given. Labor time per unit is given. So basically, I'm writing all this to help you build your concepts. Okay, so I hope this will help you. Labor time per unit is given. So convert this into total. Convert this into total. So how to convert this into total? How to convert this into total, my dear? For product X, its per unit is 15 minutes. And its total production, budgeted production is 8,000 units. 8,000 units. And for product Y, its per unit is 20 minutes multiplied by total production is 9,000 units. So can you please do this calculation? 15 minutes multiplied by 8,000 and 20 minutes multiplied by 9,000. Can you please do it? And convert it into hours. How many hours? $15 multiplied by 8,000 divided by 60. You can divide by 60. Yes. How much it is? 15.
2,000 hours.
Multiplied by 8,000 divided by 60. So this is 2,000 hours. And then for product Y, 20 minutes multiplied by 9,000 divided by 60. So that is 3,000 hours. So total hours are total direct labor hours are 5,000. Okay, so we have got these 5,000 hours. Very good. I really appreciate. Thank you. Okay, so use this 5,000 here. Now we have got this calculation. By the way, this is very important calculation. You should be good at this type of calculation, how to make total calculation from product-wise data. I can write it for you. Product-wise data. This is product-wise data. So you have to use this data, use product-wise data to calculate total. Okay, so what is now rate? 120,000 divided by 5,000. Yes, please. What is OAR? OAR. It is $24 per direct labor hour. Thank you, Nishika. Thanks a lot. So now 24 hours are direct labor hours, the rate. This is the part one of the question. Now we can do part two of the question. So part two of the question is where we have to calculate budgeted cost per unit of product X and Y. So I can write here budgeted cost of product X and Y per unit. Okay. So I can put here product X, product Y. So how to calculate product cost? When we need to calculate product cost, we can start from its direct cost. Direct cost data is given, that is 10 and 7. Direct cost is 10 and 7. This data is already given. Now next is absorb overheads. So how we absorb overheads? We have rate is already calculated. Use the rate. Use OAR. Okay. So for X product, rate is, what is rate? Rate is $24. $24 multiplied by for X. How much time is required for product X? Product X requires 15 minutes. Okay. What do you think? Should we absorb whole $24? That is the overhead for 1 hour, or we need to absorb up to how much time is required? That is 15 minutes. So we have to absorb overheads of these 15 minutes. So how we will do it? 15 minutes, 24 multiplied by 15 divided by 60. And for product Y, 24 multiplied by 20 divided by 60. Yes, please. Can you please calculate overheads for product X and product Y? Quick, please, quick. So for product X, it is 6. And for product, it is 6. And for product Y, it is 8. Yes, very good. And now you can calculate product cost per unit. That is 16 and that is 15. Are you clear? Are you clear this way of calculation, my dear? This is common testing. This is common calculation. This is commonly used method at performance management. So I hope if there was any mistake or if there was any doubt in your knowledge, I hope with this simple example, you are able to understand this, that how to calculate, how to absorb overheads. Okay, well done, well done, well done, well done. Okay, now let's move on to discuss further few more things. And that is now the problems with absorption costing. As you have seen in this calculation, this question, very important discussion. In this question, you have seen that under absorption costing, we need to estimate overheads. For example, we need to estimate these total overheads, then we need to estimate the total activity, and then calculate an estimated OAR, and then absorb these overheads. So, my dear, this method has so many flaws. Traditional absorption costing has many flaws. What are those flaws? What are those weaknesses? Let me explain it to you. For example, this traditional absorption costing method assume that all products are of same, okay? And this also assume that they have similar requirements. But we know that modern day products are more complicated. For example, modern day products are smart products. Modern day products are customized products. These products require more overheads, okay, as comparison to the conventional products that were made 20, 30, 40, 50 years back, when traditional absorption costing method was okay, when traditional absorption costing method was acceptable, okay? But for modern day products, which are more technology intensive, which are not using much of the labor or material, but there are a lot of other overheads which are consumed by these products. For example, quality testing, for example, emissions, carbons, and for example, waste, recycling, and all these different types of overheads which are consumed by modern day products were not considered previously. So the point is that traditional absorption costing method is not helpful for modern day products. Then what is the solution? One solution is activity-based costing. Okay, I hope you have got some idea that traditional absorption costing is not helpful for modern day products. So traditional absorption costing method no longer suitable to be used for overheads calculation for modern mean today's smart or more complicated products. Okay, here is activity-based costing. Let's have a quick look at activity-based costing. ABC is a form of absorption costing. However, it is different or differ from traditional absorption costing because it takes a different approach to the apportionment and absorption of production overheads. Yes, it uses a different way to absorb overheads. What that means? Activity-based costing is based on the following assumptions. In modern day manufacturing environment, I can give you example of, let's say, modern day mobile phones. You can think of today's mobile phone. Imagine there was a Nokia conventional phones. You can think of Nokia 2005. There was a very famous phone 3310. Do you know about this phone? Have you heard about this phone? Have you heard about this phone? 3310. It was very famous at that time. And we are today in like 2025, where we are talking about iPhone 16. And then there are very high-end Samsung, Galaxy or Samsung, for example, advanced phones. Understand? Similarly, today's electronics, for example, think of electronics, think of a lot of other products that we are making today. These are highly complicated using. Similarly, think of like modern day cars. Do you know how many sensors are installed in modern day cars? There are hundreds and thousands of sensors. This was not the case in like 30 years back or 40 years back. So the point is that modern day manufacturing products are very complicated. So we need to use different methods. Okay. All right. So this is the activity-based costing. When is ABC relevant? ABC is more expensive system to operate than traditional costing. Yes, because in traditional costing, we use simple one single overhead method. But for ABC, we need more comprehensive information system or softwares. So it would only be introduced when it is appropriate to do so. Activity-based costing could provide much more meaningful information about product cost and profits when, for example, when indirect costs are high relative to direct cost. So these are the situations, and exam performance management questions can test your knowledge, this knowledge. So you need to prepare. Number one, this is suitable where overhead costs are higher than direct cost. Yes, this is true. Today, overhead costs are more than even material and labor cost. So it makes sense for ABC. Number two, where products or services are more complex. As I told you earlier, that today's modern phones, mobile phones, cars, electronics are very complicated as comparison to previously. Number three, products or services are tailored to customer specification. Yes, today customers ask for so many specifications. So when those specifications are considered, then product cost will become more and more. So we need to use ABC. Some products or services are sold in large numbers, but others are sold in small numbers. It's also correct. It's also correct. So in this situation, it makes sense to use activity-based costing system. Okay, so this is when ABC is relevant. I hope this is clear. Now let's applying ABC. So ABC is applied in multi-steps. There are few steps to follow. Few steps to follow when applying activity-based costing. First of all, step one is identify activities of your organization, or what are the activities performed by the organization. A problem with identifying activity-based costing, introducing activity-based costing, is deciding which activities which activities are consuming overheads cost. That is not easy. That's a difficult part. Okay. But anyway, don't worry. In your performance management questions, you will be given these activities. So that will not be tough. There should be activities that use a large amount of resources like financial resources, human resources, such as labor time. However, there are many different activities within a manufacturing company, and it is not always clear which activities should be used for costing. Okay, for example, the different types of activities that you need to consider, these might be special material purchasing activity, special material handling activity and storing activity, customer order processing activity, quality control and inspection activity, production planning and scheduling activity, repairs, maintenance, spare parts activity. So these are the different types of activities. So you have to identify which activity consume more resources. Okay. So identifying activities in a system of ABC, it is preferable to select a fairly small number of activities. That is the point. We cannot select all activities. No, this would make the system more complicated. So we need to choose few important activities, few important key activities we have to choose. If a large number of activities are selected, costing system will become too complex. Activities are selected on the basis of the management judgment and experience. All right, and their knowledge of the activities within the manufacturing. Okay, so what are the learning outcomes in your performance management paper, PM paper and test? Identify appropriate cost drivers under ABC. So you have to identify cost driver. So first step number 1 was activities. Step number 2 is cost drivers. Step 2. Step 1 was identify activities. Step 2, identify appropriate cost drivers for each activity. Cost drivers for each activity. This will be given in the questions. Given in the questions alongside activities. So step number 1 and step number 2 would be very easy, very clear. Next. So step number 3 would be technical. These are the different types of activities and cost drivers. Okay. Step number 3 would be different because in step number 3, you have to calculate the total amount of the cost driver. And this one we will discuss in our next class, because in the next class, we will be covering this topic more comprehensively. Okay, all right, very easy. And in the next class, we will be covering activity-based costing and target costing. 2 topics will be covered in our next class. This class was only introductory and a little bit discussion of the basic concepts. I hope you have understood all this, what I have discussed. Okay, so this is all from our today's introductory class. I hope you find it interesting and you have understood my style of teaching. I hope you have understood all the concepts I have explained. So before we close it, I would like to know if you have any question. Is there any question you would like to ask? Perfect. Okay, all right. So that's all from our today class. I really appreciate you all for your wonderful participation. And as I told you earlier, this is the way for maximizing your learning. Okay, keep asking questions, participation, discussion, and this you will learn more. If any point is not clear, note it down. Ask me again. Okay, so and set your target that you have to pass this paper in June 2025 exams. This should be your goal. Your goal should be to pass the paper. Okay? Your goal. Pass PM in June 25 exams. So in order to achieve this goal, you need to plan and prepare. I will guide you. I will help you, but this is a two-way process. Okay, you have to do your best as well. All right, that's all. Thank you very much for being part of the class. Thank you very much for joining today's session. And I look forward to see you on next Saturday in next class. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful evening and good night. Bye.